Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Anda sedang menonton Agenda Awani. Apalah kehidupan tanpa air? Dan jika saya sebut perkataan ini, jangan lari. Salus per Aqua. Itulah singkatan yang anda tahu sebagai SPA, which means healing by water. Air itu adalah penjana kehidupan dan juga penyembuh dalam kehidupan. Tapi soalnya sekarang di bawah PKP, PKPB dan PKPP, anda tidak boleh pergi ke spa kerana spa dilarang untuk beroperasi. Jadi hari ini Astro Awani dengan definisi spa yang seperti difahami oleh pengusaha dan dua persatuan hebat spa ini bersama dengan saya pemimpin-pemimpin mereka, kita melihat pada tiang ini sekarang. Tiang spa ini mereka juga mewakili ramai rakyat Malaysia yang mencari nafkah dalam rantaian bidang ini. Malah bidang ini kadang-kadang diletakkan di bawah pelancongan, kadang-kadang diletakkan di bawah wellness ataupun kesihatan, malah ada yang meletakkannya di bawah kedua-duanya, pelancongan kesihatan. Tapi kita tahu kedua-dua sektor ini begitu terkesan oleh PKP dan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan ini. Jadi saya nak terus bercakap dengan Datin Janet Tembakau, paling dekat dengan saya. Beliau adalah Presiden Presiden Association of Malaysian Spas ataupun AMSPA, dan kemudiannya kita ada Datin Dorothea Justin Modoying, Presiden bagi Malaysian Association of Wellness and Spa atau MAUSPA. Memang saya mau tapi kita tak boleh pergi lagi. Kalau saya lihat pada data dan data ada banyak di dunia ini, sampai berbilion-bilion ringgit setahun nilai yang ada pada industri spa. Nanti saya akan berikan jumlah itu untuk kita dapat gambaran. Tetapi saya nak tanya terus, di Malaysia sejak PKP, how is it? Bagaimana nasib? Kerana kalau saya baca daripada siaran akhbar yang diberikan oleh Persatuan beberapa hari lalu, memang teruklah kesannya. Tapi saya berikan peluang untuk cerita sendiri. Sebenarnya definisi spa ni macam mana? Kerana ada orang ingat tempat buat rambut dan dandanan tu juga dikenali sebagai spa. Nama. Jadi mungkin kita boleh gunakan definisi spa tu dan bagaimana nasib.
I think basically definitely spa is actually related to health and wellness. Yeah. So in terms of health and wellness, we cover a lot of aspect. You know, you're talking about fitness also under spa. You're talking about hair, beauty. You know, and in spas we have so many different kind of services, right? In our spa we have water services, and then we have also facial. We also have medi-pedi and all that. So definition is very broad. So the industry itself memang very broad. So in Malaysia, last year we have income of 600 over million, yeah, in the spa and wellness industry, including reflexology centers as well.
Okay.
And we have about 20,000 over spa operators, wellness operators, and also reflexology centers, right? Okay. And then at the same time, we are catering for more than 30,000 employees, you know, a staff, you know, under this wellness scope. So it is a very big industry. In tourism especially, right, we actually churn out about 15% bah, yang tourist receipt dari the whole of the whole seluruhan itu industri. Yeah. So it's big, right? It's very big.
Yeah. Bagi saya satu contoh betapa teruknya. Kerana kalau dalam bidang perhotelan misalnya kita nampak ada hotel yang kita kenali terus ditutup. Dan hotel lain tak ditutup tetapi ramai pekerjanya sudah tidak ada. Bagi spa macam mana?
Memanglah, if you look at the statistic kan, dari bulan January onwards, kita memang nampak itu bisnes keturunan sudah ada turun sudah kebanyakan 80%. In fact, in March, middle of March, after MCO was announced, our association quickly do a survey, then see what are the impact on the industry itself. In fact, most of our members say 80% of their income is lost in the month of February.
Okay.
So from February onwards sampai sekarang, no income. So that means to say we have lost more than $300 million. Yeah, so that is a big impact. And then plus a lot of our employees have no job. So of course it will affect them, right? No
Yeah.
livelihood, no salary, you know, and no income. So it is a big impact. Yeah.
Okay. Datin?
Yeah, definitely semasa MCO, mula-mula March, 18th of March, kita macam feel positive.
Okay.
Yang industri ini, I mean, we never thought that it's going to drag on, right? Jadi kita punya semangat tu masih kuat. So one comes to April, May, you know, semangat kita, we feel that we want to be part of the frontliners because we feel that this wellness, kesetaraan kesihatan is actually salah satu daripada langkah untuk kita mencegah preventive measure lah supaya kita tidak ramai orang tidak pergi ke stage yang where is chronic.
Okay.
Because
faham.
in spa mungkin ramai orang tidak mengetahui bahawa pada mula-mulanya wellness industry ini adalah di bawah Kementerian Kesihatan.
Okay.
So when they actually tubuh satu unit perubatan tradisional dan complementary medicine, maka wujudlah satu garis panduan perkhidmatan spa di Malaysia, membezakan spa dengan beauty.
Okay.
So Ministry of Health have actually draw up the line. They have the garis panduan. That is that dari sana, whatever is the one developed, it becomes a reference for that book. It's actually in the internet. It is actually been open, you know. And perkhidmatan spa, garis panduan perkhidmatan spa di Malaysia, we can do facial. Of course, facial is not the main treatment lah.
Yeah.
Actually, the one is more of we have the mandian and massage. Of course, the mandian we have those wet treatment like you know, soaking yourself in the herba, what is it?
Lulur dan sebagainya.
Lurul, everything, mandi herba, mandi bunga. You know, and we have the heat treatment, sauna. Sauna and steam, that's actually very good. Steam, you have the herba, it's actually very good. Dulu-dulu punya nenek moyang punya remedy kita pakai balik.
Yeah.
And dia kata you nak buat facial, boleh buat facial. But you kena guna natural ingredients.
Yeah.
You kena pergi market, beli this herba for, because we can actually do scrub mask with natural ingredients. So that people who actually produce all these ingredients kan also mendapat pendapatan daripada timbulnya industri spa ni. You know, so and body massage is more of circulation, blood circulation. You know, it's not like it's more of like if let's say you penat, of course you go for wellness massage. But if you have bad like heavy pain, injury and that kind of thing, then you do therapeutic massage. That's why the Ministry of Health said, if you want to do therapeutic massage, you must be qualified.
Okay.
You have to register yourself with the ahli majlis, ahli majlis perubatan tradisional dan complementary. You become ahli so that you are more qualified to you have a license to touch people body yang kronik.
Dia ada SOP yang perlu
Dia ada SOP dia
dipaskan.
juga. Actually dah ada semua.
Ada CJ kemahiran dan sebagainya.
Exactly. Actually kan industri kita ni kan spa is dikategorikan di bawah wellness. Kesetaraan kesihatan consists of spa, reflexology, aromatherapy, bekam, cupping. It's actually all that.
Yeah,
So
macam kesejahteraan juga.
Okay.
yeah, it's actually under the wellness. So wellness, if let's say you're going to say, don't say reflexology center.
Yeah.
Don't reflexology, people will say reflexology center is actually part of complementary therapy,
Yeah.
you know. So it should be all grouped together. I think this is the one yang banyak kita belajar waktu PKP ni because when you are a wellness in this industry kan, you have to teach. We also training providers,
Okay.
you know. So we also have spa, we also invest to become a training provider for this complementary therapy. So we only we need to teach in our syllabus. Jabatan Kemahiran Malaysia, JPK and the Ministry of Human Resource, they have set up the syllabus. There are about 3,000 over skills and 10, I think lebih kurang 10 lah, I think, program untuk complementary therapy. Spa therapy it takes about 16 months, It's not just massage saja. We have to learn anatomy and physiology, basic medical science, CPR kena pass.
Yeah.
Yang dia valid for 3 years bukan yang CPR just certificate of attendance, It has to be competent, So it's not just we have to learn a little bit of psychology because bila orang datang spa, you must remember that why they come to you. We have bankers. Because imagine bankers will leave the job maybe about 11, 10, and tomorrow morning they need to be rejuvenate.
Yeah.
They come to you and atmosphere spa tu kan kenalah tenang, right? Not like, I'm sorry to say that ada pengusaha ni kan, dia tak faham tau. Dia kena, I think they all have to go for courses lah, take management course, then only venture to the business. Bukan nak pergi cari-cari, tiru-tiru sekejap, take foto, then I'll dump in money and do it.
Bagi rasa sedap je.
Yeah, no. Adalah pula pengusaha ada smoking dan non-smoking. Ada pula yang macam nak buat macam panggung wayang. Yes, it's the lifestyle now. They say lifestyle too. Because people wants to go and foot massage, sambil tengok TV and what this thing. Actually, that's what the government, especially from the Ministry of Health, bagi kita enlighten kita. You want to do wellness, you must get the atmosphere clear.
Okay.
Environment dia yang you tenang, you tidur kejap, you no gadgets, because you are all the time running yourself, and then you pay for the service, right? So we need to create an environment yang nyaman, yang tenang, yang sesuai dengan kesejahteraan kesihatan, dengan you punya mind supaya you tenang. No gadget. That's why the therapy also have to advise the customer. Please, no gadgets, no telephones for this moment. Give me your moments for 2 hours, then so that dia tenang. If let's say you are a therapist, if you do the massage and there are very tight muscles, and you see the energy that they put on you, and your fikiran boost. But you are not tenang. You busy with your texting, and even the tense. So the therapy can feel it. That's why they said, Tuan, you punya body is still so hard to you cannot
Emosi
block.
dan fizikal bergabung.
It's kambung. So they said, please, if let's say you can just silent mode your phone, no phones, and it's easy for you. It's easy for us to do it.
Saya rehatkan dulu perbincangan ini. Kita dah belajar pasal spa dan juga terapi. Dan kalau yang macam saya pernah mengalami kecederaan sukan, kita tahu betapa pentingnya terapi itu.
Yes,
kerana kita tak boleh kembali macam sebelum kecederaan kalau kita tidak menjalani terapi. Kerana kalau lutut kita yang sakit misalnya, sampai ke bahagian belakang semuanya bersangkut kerana badan dan tubuh kita mengubah suai, mengambil kira kecederaan itu. Tapi bila dah okey, bila dah baik dan perlu jalan kembali, tak semudah itu, dia tak jadi otomatis. Juru-juru terapi yang perlu membantu, itu saya nak bincangkan selepas ini. Mungkin masalahnya bukan pada PKP. Masalahnya ialah pada piawaian ataupun standard dan pengklasifikasian ataupun how do you classify, bezakan di antara spa yang tidak ada sijil kemahiran, tidak ada pendekatan terapi berbanding dengan yang ada. Jadi macam media jugalah, sesiapa boleh buat berita, tapi berita yang dikeluarkan oleh media masa berlesen macam Awani, wartawannya pun kena ada sijil daripada Jabatan Penerangan, ada kad contohnya. Itu saya nak bincang lepas ni kerana Persatuan juga memberikan cadangan kepada kerajaan bagaimana ia bukan buka atau tutup, tetapi sebenarnya ada banyak lagi perkara yang mungkin boleh membantu industri ini ke depan. Mungkin kita tak hanya nak lihat pada 400 juta, tapi kita nak lihat lebih lagi kepada ribuan rakyat Malaysia yang bergantung kepada industri ini. Daripada yang mencari herba di hutan, sampai yang membuat herba itu menjadi ubat-ubatan terapi, sampailah pada mereka yang mungkin tak nak mengira, tak nak matematik, tapi mereka pandai menggunakan tangan. Dan boleh dia tengok saja kita, dia tahu kat mana. Dan dia boleh menyelesaikan masalah tubuh. Ini semua adalah bernilai, dan tidakkah kita harus memikirkan walaupun virus, kita masih sepatutnya boleh. Kerana antara masalah virus adalah ia menyebabkan tekanan mental dan emosi yang tinggi. Itu kita bincangkan selepas ini. Anda masih lagi menonton Astro Awani dan kita masih melihat pada normal baru. Normal baru ni pada semua bidang, tetapi pada bidang spa. Saya dah cakap tadi, takrif spa tu daripada bahasa Latin dan sebagainya ada kena-mengena dengan air, tapi yang penting ia adalah sumber kehidupan dan memastikan rejuvenasi tubuh dan sebagainya, tapi ia juga berkait dengan emosi dan mental. Masalahnya sejak PKP, industri spa yang berkaitan dengan kesejahteraan kesihatan tidak dapat beroperasi. Tempat masaj ke, tempat refleksologi dan sebagainya. Dan kita faham ada sentuhan badan. Dan sebab itu antara punca pertama orang fikir, patutlah tak buka. Tetapi persatuan spa ada pandangan mereka sendiri dan mereka ada data, sains dan sebagainya. Kerana kebanyakan pengusaha spa yang serius, mereka memulakannya daripada SOP yang ada pada Kementerian Kesihatan. Kementerian yang sama memerangi COVID-19. Jadi saya ingin terus saja berikan hujah ini ya. Kalau saya lihat ada satu data mengatakan bahawa sebenarnya industri spa di Malaysia dah berkembang agak pesat sejak mungkin awal 2000, 2001, 2002. Dan pendapatan mereka juga sebenarnya semakin meningkat kerana memang ada permintaan untuk kesejahteraan kesihatan. Tetapi kita dengar tadi, apabila tidak dapat beroperasi, sampai sekarang mungkin dah dekat 300-400 juta dah hilang. Dan 400 juta adalah nilai untuk setahun industri ini. Jadi, apa cadangan industri untuk kerajaan? Kerana kerajaan sentiasa melihat bagaimana nak pulihkan ekonomi dan sekarang under PKPP, recovery, kita bawah pemulihan. Jadi, kalau saya lihat di negara China, mereka ada TCM University dan dalam tu ada bahagian masaj, kesejahteraan, herba dan sebagainya. Di Malaysia pun ketika kunjungan rombongan negara China untuk membantu Kementerian Kesihatan memerangi COVID, ada pakar TCM. Jadi peranan ini berkait dengan COVID juga sebenarnya untuk pemulihan. Saya tengok dalam yang diberi kepada saya tentang langkah cadangan persatuan, tidak ada sebab kenapa walaupun ada sentuhan tapi tidak boleh memastikan bahawa kesihatan terjaga. Jadi saya beri peluang untuk cerita dulu kenapa walaupun masih ada ancaman virus tetapi dengan operasi prosedur yang bagus kita boleh minimalkan risiko jangkitan.
Ya, sebagaimana yang kita tahu, kalau ada pusat wellness center, pusat kesejahteraan kesihatan, spa dan refleksologi, kita buat, we have rooms that actually not crowded. Kita ada single room, kita ada bilik untuk yang 2 orang, 4 orang, you know. And bagi pusat urutan kaki yang depends on tourists, they have of course huge foot reclining chair. But what they can do, the social distancing we can actually bagi 1 meter space lah. This is the one cadangan yang kita kemukakan kepada MKN lah. Juga social distancing tu kita dah tackle. There's no problem of the distance jarak tu.
Ada jawatankuasa khas COVID-19 untuk kedua-dua persatuan bergabung, MAUSPA dan AMSPA. Dan saya tengok antara hujah dia katakan, industri ni memang dah ikut prosedur. Kita dah pakai sarung tangan dengan pelitup muka tu dah lama dah. Can you expand on that?
Actually,
that's a very interesting point.
The mask, when you use the mask, there are often sometimes you cough, our therapist will use the mask. And of course kita ni kan kita terima berbagai-bagai pelanggan. You know, ada yang direct from the office, ada yang baru senaman nak pergi terus dekat situ. The hygiene is also our concern because we don't want to buat rawatan kepada pelanggan yang baunya badan, bau perlu, nafas semua itu because we want to buat rawatan ke atas badan yang bersih. So we say we always have a protocol. If you come straight from the office, then that should be okay because you tak sweating kan. But if let's say you buat kerja rumah dekat rumah yang kadang-kadang kita okay for homemakers, we always encourage them to come in the morning because they're not working. Dia ada homemaker kan, dia ada banyak masa. Lepas antar budak sekolah, then they need to be pampered and they do all this body aching, banyak masalah juga, right? So we encourage them. That's why our services are always very cheap if we go in the morning.
Itu
All the
sebabnya.
homemakers yang
Okay, faham.
bekerja dekat rumah sendiri tu, they go. And of course, those retirement people, they will make use of this time during the morning to go for the spa. Spa is not just kalau dia nak buat kuku, nak menghias kuku, nak buat makeup, nak buat melenting mata, and all these things, you go to the beauty. Because we don't want to kacau their beauty because that's their job. There are some people say, hey, I've been in a beautician for 10 years and I want to go and become spa therapist. Okay, come. We assess you if let's say you're good. Because if you urut muka, you kena gentle. Not many people have very gentle hand to massage the face. They have to have. So sometimes then when we ask them to apply on the body, tak boleh pakai. No matter how much you try, you tak boleh jadi therapist. We terang-terang bagi kita bila masuk kita punya academy, we tell them, so sorry, I know you can massage. Everybody can massage, but not everybody can massage well. I know you can sing well, but not everybody can sing. Not everybody can sing, right? But not everybody can sing well, right? So we reject. We reject. We said this is not your industry because this one must be tolerance. Kalau customer datang dengan aku nak mandi bunga, aku nak buat massage dan steam. Okay, 3 jam. That's $300 over. So don't waste your money. If they come and dia menangis waktu kena rendam, he was like, you know, and then we are train our therapists. Jangan memudaratkan keadaan. This customer comes, they have problems.
So kena pandai psikologi.
Bukan you nak, yalah sekarang budak-budak sekarang kurang hajar lah. You know, they will say like that. No, they are time therapists. No, you cannot do like that. You have to be firm, you have to be gentle, and you have to help them because they come to you. The psychology also comes in. That's why during PKP, kita kena after May, we start using our mental. Kekuatan mental tu sangat sekali. Sampai whoever you say, oh, kena buat siapa yang I have not been praying to God for so many years already. Dan buat meditation lah. Siapa yang tak apalah. So the mental, whatever it is the one we do, Qigong, we get our, because we have association, rangkaian association ni banyak yang ada pengamal yang buat meditasi lah, buat yang you know, whatever it is the one to do with mind body based therapy. That's what we call it. Anything to do with the mind. It's because we categorize them under mind body and soul based therapy. If you are doing any kind of like massage or even dry massage yang macam Thailand ka, you name it. Now we have Thailand, we have Balinese, we have Shiatsu, we have urutan Malaysia now. So they masuk ke dalam kategori we base them under manipulative based therapy because it's manipulative of the soft tissue. That's why we say you nak pergi massage, sometimes we have to change our punya slogan ataupun kita punya iklan to differentiate us from the one yang illegal. We don't want to say massage parlor, come for massage, or we have to say get rid of your stress, or say no handphones there, you know. But just to attract our pelanggan to come and rest, come to the spa and rest, get our vouchers.
Okay, Datin, can we share about our Safe to Spa campaign?
Yes. I asked Dr. Janet to talk about the
I would like to add it on as well. During the CMCO, we realized that it is very important for both our association to join effort to form a special task force to really look into the SOP. Because we know that the government and the NSC and the MOH place really emphasize on the importance of the SOP. So we joined effort, we had brainstorming, and we came out with a very, very comprehensive SOP, which we have submitted to all the relevant ministry. Then at the same time, we also came up with a brainstorming idea that we will have a Safe to Spa campaign, where we will do a very comprehensive SOP training for all our members. Why we do that is because we want to make sure that all our members really follow the guideline of MKN SOP. So by doing that, once they attend our training program, we will give them a certification, and we will also give them sticker to put it in their door, right, at the entrance, to say and to tell the public this is the difference. These are all the legitimate spas with proper SOP training, and they are here to serve the public with good safety guidelines. Yeah, that's why we came up with this campaign.
So if you have all that, why can't you accept that you still have to stay closed, but the hairdressing and beauty centres are allowed to open?
That is the thing. We are so surprised. Why
not
the
not that
government?
hairdressing and
Yeah.
beauty centres not important.
Yes.
But
That's
why
the
you
thing.
cannot?
That is the thing. We are also asking this question to the government. You know, why we cannot? Because we are giving almost the same kind of services, right?
It's
Especially
touch
with the
therapy.
beautician. It's touch therapy as well. So that's why we, after what we know that we are not allowed, even more we went and appealed to the government. And we went to Ministry of Tourism because we are under the umbrella of Ministry of
Yeah,
Tourism, the spa and wellness industry. So we went and appealed to KSU as well to ask them why we can't, you know. So they say that they have to take turn, you know, because they got so many SOP to look into.
I see.
Whereas in the tourism industry, right, they have like 15
Mhm.
SOP to work on. So they have to see which one come first. Then of course ours is the last three lah, which they have already presented it to MKN
Okay.
yesterday, I think, right?
Yes, yes.
Yesterday morning. So now they have to put it up to NSC. So NSC on Monday or Tuesday next week, then we will know.
Okay. Hopefully,
yeah.
good
Yeah,
news.
hopefully it's a good news, all right?
Yes.
We really hope.
I like to
Because
add on.
our members are so, you know, really wants to
In
open.
trouble,
In
yeah.
trouble,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
When it comes to, you say, survey, I mean, of course, during the MCO, kita mendapat survey daripada berbagai-bagai kementerian as
Yeah.
well, right? And saya cuma nak minta mungkin selepas post COVID-19 ni, mohon kementerian dan juga local housing, local kementerian perumahan tempatan, mungkin kita ada menambah penambahbaikan lah.
Yeah.
Because during I realised during survey Kementerian Pelancongan ada menyenaraikan setiap program yang ada di bawah mereka.
Okay.
Jadi I was anxiously looking for wellness, but unfortunately there was
Tak
not
ada.
listed. I was like keep on looking. I called all the association. Salah kah borang ni?
Cari-cari tak ada jumpa.
Tak ada. So
Yeah.
even KD ada, tapi dan mungkin others lah, kesian juga kita ni,
Okay.
others lah.
others,
So
we are
others, so
others
dan
category.
others they say please specify. Ada said pusat kesederaan kesihatan spa dan reflexology. I put that because dalam dia punya data, dalam dia punya unit pelayanan pun yang didaftarkan dekat situ is spa dan pusat urutan kaki.
Okay.
Actually I was wondering because last time it was reflexology because it's a nice word. Now reflexology is more of like I would
Therapy
say
lah.
more of therapy.
Yeah,
Rather than
yeah.
pusat urutan kaki, and then maybe they want to differentiate. I think at one time kita pun kan dalam proses membuat penambahbaikan dekat Kementerian Kesihatan, perubatan bahagian perubatan tradisional komplementari, and dia we have last time kita ada satu gabungan perubatan traditional komplementari juga. Kita ada banyak chapter. We call it chapter before the ACTA. So salah satu daripadanya ada reflexology chapter. So when the spa start booming up and lot of illegal coming up, and the reflexology term becomes like rusuhan ke, you know, satu tempat reflexology center, it becomes bad name, you know. It continues every now and then, and then sekali ada rusuhan, sekali media bukan fokus,
Serbuan dan
buat dia
sebagainya.
buat fokus
Yeah.
lagi, awan ni buat fokus
Yeah.
lagi, okay. Then
Yeah.
then the mother start calling, semua ibu bapa, can you ask them to come back? Aku nak bawa balik anak aku daripada you punya akademi, tak nak lah. Sikit-sikit reflexology. Reflexology apa? Urut kaki. Oh, reflexology equal urut kaki. Bad. So, then nanti kalau ada kerajaan nak bagi B40 peluang nak lebih tunggal.
Saya nak tolong jernihkan sikit suasana ini.
Aha.
Beri saya satu contoh cerita. Kedua-dua Datin hebat di Borneo, di Sabah misalnya. Dan saya sendiri pernah turun ke sana sejak mula saya jadi wartawan televisyen tahun 90-an. Mereka yang hidup sukar di Borneo memang sukar. Kadang-kadang tidak ada pendidikan pun.
Right.
Tapi mereka perlu keluar ke bandar kerana nak membantu sara hidup keluarga. Jadi kalau tidak ada kelulusan sijil SPM akademik dan sebagainya, nak kerja apa? banyak kerja lain memerlukan kekuatan yang kuat. Jadi lelaki sajalah dapat. Tapi kalau untuk wanita misalnya, tidakkah kemahiran seperti ini boleh memberikan mereka antara percubaan pertama? Kerana dengan sendirinya, betulkan saya kalau saya salah, kalau mereka berjaya latihan 6 bulan itu dengan mendapat sara hidup, kemudiannya 2 bulan pertama itu, mereka sudah pun boleh menghantar gaji pulang ke kampung halaman dan dengan sendirinya taraf hidup keluarga itu dah naik keluar dari B40.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
Kan?
right.
Bukannya dia dapat hantar RM50.
Ya,
tak.
tidak.
Dia boleh terus keluar
That's
B40.
right.
Okay, let me share with
Yeah,
you.
terus.
Okay, this is the whole reason why I set up my Jari Jari Academy, in 2012, because I wanted to help the underprivileged youth and all that. So when we set up the academy, we start recruiting all these youth who has no job or who haven't finished their SPM and all that, and we train them a skill, right? So bila kita train their skill, we know that they will be guaranteed with job employment. They don't even have to look for job. We are the one who find job for them.
Okay.
So we will place them, and they will work in the spa industry. Do you know nowadays how much they earn a month?
Berapa?
5,000-6,000 ringgit.
Okay.
They can build house in the kampong.
Yeah, they can build house, they
I've
can
got,
buy fridge, they
stuff,
can support their brother and sisters to school. So it is a legitimate and it is a profession, and it's something that they should be proud of. And we are all very proud of them.
You've seen that yourself?
Yes,
Yes.
Datin also have an academy.
I mean, yes, we
You've gone to their house and
Yes.
see?
Of
I
course,
started.
yeah.
We actually started this in 1988.
Yeah.
We are like the longest one because kita punya keluarga ini adalah keluarga. My mom is a bidan kampung as
Okay.
well,
Okay.
So daripada di situ dia single mother as well. So dia memulakan ini sebagai midwife lah dan juga penjagaan ibu lepas bersalin. So we started from there, and how we struggle hard to actually go into, because my mom always do dekat rumah tau. So every time lepas sekolah kena sediakan air panas, dan sediakan herba itu, herba
Understand.
ini tak boleh langkah, yang itu
Faham.
macam pantang larang
Yeah.
dia semua.
Betul.
So I told my mom, I said, kenapalah mak saya ni tak tahu yang ini saja. Then my mom said, this is the only skill I've learned from my mother. I could have gone to school together with all my brothers and sisters, but we have played, because
Yeah.
they said
Peranan
we are,
masing-masing lah.
so
Yeah.
I am the only one who stay back and help my mom, and this is the only skills, and you better shut up, don't complain. So I have to okay, shut up and don't do it, So this is the thing that when I was in UK, I got a scholarship to study law in UK. The only skills I have is my hands.
Okay.
So dekat sini I was so surprised because I am able to join in the health center where they provide massage for the elderly.
Okay.
And I took courses, because they're very advanced kan dekat UK.
Yeah.
So I worked, and then to be very honest with you, with these skills, I travel all over Europe.
Yeah.
I'll travel all
Tak
over.
payah dapat beasiswa,
Tak
boleh
payah
pergi
dapat
sendiri.
beasiswa. Because I was
Actually,
thinking, I said,
yeah.
some of my friends work in traditional Chinese takeaway, what hostel
Dan
cleaning.
dapat berapa saja?
Yeah. Then I'm able to get my mom to come and visit me, and also we go Europe,
Yeah.
and we go Europe. We even travel to go to the
Okay.
Tunnel.
Okay.
I was amazed with that skills.
Yeah, and
And
then
our students,
most all
is
of
in
them are
Australia
settled,
now,
yeah.
work
Some
in
of them
Dubai,
overseas.
Tak
work
semestinya
in
kerja di
Takrus.
Malaysia.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
the mistake.
these are licensed to
And then
travel,
they are
Kamaru.
certified. All the local therapists now in Malaysia are really certified. Yeah, and then because if they are not certified, they cannot work in the industry because we already promote the professionalism in their career as well. And some of them work in resorts, 5-star resorts, 6-star resorts, good hotels and all that. And they're really bringing good income, for the family.
And my
then
student-
on top of it,
my-
all our spas are rated, all right? Rated spas, all our members, most of our members who are with us are all rated. So they have gone proper, guidelines, having SOP, having proper licensing and all that. So these are the importance of the industry, how the industry grows, you
Faham.
see. Yeah.
Nanti nak cakap tadi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean bukan saja dari segi license to travel,
Yeah,
right? But they also offer jobs in the hospital.
Yeah.
I see my students who have been trained mendapat we receive training project from government
Yeah.
to train the B40.
Okay.
Last time the B40 was in the 1988. It's not B40,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like they will they have IKASI, they
Okay,
have all
faham.
this, right?
Yeah.
Different program.
Yeah.
So we have been doing that. So surprisingly, when the Ministry of Health Traditional Complementary bring up again the what is it the role of therapy, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes like, oh yes, kita selalu bagi tahu dari ibu bapa, we panggil daripada pegawai daripada TCM to actually explain to them it's a career, and of course ada motek tolong lagi. So we actually getting all these agencies to help us. And of course, we also have to deal with the local councils because local councils are the different licensing. So that is why I think the problem exists now where, if let's say you want to do, the definition of the wellness industry is not really
Okay,
well
faham.
understood.
Yeah.
So sampai dia kata, what is the license want to give to you?
Yeah.
Urut tak boleh. I said, urut lagi tak boleh juga. Then he said, is there any nice name? Then we think of, because we learn reflexology,
Yeah.
right? Tuan, boleh tak reflexology, kita pakai reflexology? Itu bagus. That's good, he said.
Dia pun
So that's
patut pakai terapi juga kan.
Yeah.
sorry, yes.
Therapy.
Yeah. So it's a nice word. So, but it has been
Rawatan kesihatan, terapi kesihatan. Ya,
it
betul.
can dia telah dicemar oleh
Faham.
mungkin so
Tapi
that's
ini
the
peluangnya, pandemik memberikan kita peluang
Exactly.
untuk normal baru.
Exactly.
Dan daripada melihat bahawa industri ini mungkin menyebabkan virus tersebar, sebenarnya kita juga boleh lihat bahawa ia boleh meredakan stres atau
stres.
tekanan kerana pandemik ini juga mengganggu
Yes.
mental dan emosi.
Yes.
Kita tak boleh buat benda yang kita biasa buat. Kami yang datang kerja tiap-tiap hari sejak PKP kerana dibenarkan kerana ini antara perkhidmatan teras yang penting. Bila kita lalu jalan-jalan di ibu kota dan tidak ada orang dan tidak ada kenderaan, itu juga memberikan impak yang agak negatif. Jadi kita faham. Terima kasih banyak. Lain kali kita tunggu apa kata Majlis Perkhidmatan Negara terhadap permohonan untuk membuka industri kesihatan. Jika tidak pun kita boleh melihat bahawa ia bukan sahaja untuk memulihkan ekonomi, tetapi sebenarnya ia boleh menjadi alternatif langsung dan cepat untuk kita mendapat janaan ekonomi, terutamanya bagi mereka yang tidak ada kemahiran akademik dan sebagainya atau kelulusan akademik. Mereka hanya boleh menggunakan tangan empat kerat dengan latihan yang berkualiti. Terima kasih banyak Nathan. Terima kasih banyak kerana datang.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
having
having
us.
Mau
on the
Spa, M Spa
Spa.
ini adalah nama yang anda perlu cari kerana anda jika tidak ada lagi pilihan yang anda rasa sesuai, jika anda rasa sesuai boleh pergi kembara seluruh Eropah. Contohnya hanya dengan belajar kemahiran terapi kesihatan seperti rawatan mengurut dan sebagainya. Itu boleh kita terus telusuri dan saya ingin akhirkan dengan hakikat nampak macam remeh kalau kita lihat urut, tapi definisi kita mungkin perlu diperbaiki kerana mengikut Global Wellness Institute harga pasaran kepada global wellness ataupun industri kesihatan kesejahteraan sedunia adalah 4.5 trilion pada tahun 2018. Jadi jika ekonomi ingin dipulihkan, ini antara sektor yang perlu dilihat kerana ia juga memberi kesihatan. Dan dengan pandemik, kesihatan umum amat penting. Wang dan juga kesihatan. Sekian, selamat malam, terima kasih. Ini adalah Agenda Wani.